Hello everyone, we got a Technica here today. It's a TV which I received from Facebook marketplace from one person, and we will do a teardown of it. Yes, my name is Piotr Fessner, and hopefully you get some value of it. So I bought it, actually I bought it for the cost of the petrol. I never plugged that in, okay, so let's do it. I don't know what to expect to be true. I don't have a remote for it. It's going for spares anyway. So I'll be throwing all the plastic to the recycling center. Yes, okay, so we've got a standby LED on. Now standby, pull it on at all. Yes, its electronics is still working, but you can't see anything on the screen. Yeah, okay, you can see the screen is cracked. I don't know if you can. I'm poking and I can see on my side. Yes, okay, so the screen is damaged. It's not worth fixing. No, hopefully you can see it. But okay, in this case, you know, we can only disconnect it from the mains. Yes, I'll pause and I'll get my accu drill, so it will be quicker to dismount it, and I'll come back to you. Okay, so there are a few things which you should understand if you never disassemble the TV. Inside the electronic can consist of still power, yes, so electricity. So what's happening is if you touch any capacitor in the power supply, that can electrocute you. So better work out what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, well, better don't do it. Yeah? So now we will I'll pause it because it's only screws here. All the screws has to go apart from the VESA wall mount. So 4 screws for the VESA wall mount will stay, and then the rest will go off. Yes, so I'll pause it and we'll be back soon. Okay, so by the magic of YouTube, yes, we can take it away. We can slide cable through. As I was saying, I didn't have to put those screws from VESA mount, but I said, why they would have to go to the bin, you know, to the skip or to the recycling center. Yes, if they can stay, maybe will be needed 5 years, who knows, or never, or somebody will say, can I have them? And I will say, sure you can, because why not? Okay, so here is the power. Need to disconnect everything. Okay, that's the power. And that's a good switch. Actually, this one could serve for another purpose. And believe it or not, it doesn't want to go out so easily. Okay, with the help, it did. I have to use the leverage. So, okay, so I need to just remove the metal parts here before putting it to the plastic bin. I don't know if it's recyclable. I will need to check it, because it might as well go just, you know, to the landfill. Not entirely sure. So now look, speakers, yes, I'm telling you straight away, you might use them, but most likely you won't use them. Yes, it's just that if you do some projects, then you will have a chance to do it. But if you removing them every so often, you know, so you will end up with having a lot of them, yes, and then you'll just have them, but you probably won't even sell them or anything. You will just start to have them more and more. That's why I avoid taking too many TVs. Now this one has a good electronics, so there are components which are needed, and sometimes I need capacitor or something, and I'm ordering it from eBay. So I said, okay, so I've got one like that, now I will have a second like that, and the rest of the components can go, yes. It would go to the bin anyway, you know, so it's no harm more than it is anyway. Okay, 2 screws here. Sometimes they are on the rubber, these speakers, and you don't have to remove those screws, yes. But in this case, no. And now, once the speakers will go off, we can look for another. Yes, okay. So what do we see here are additional cables, yes? So everything should go off first, like switches, sensors. This is a sensor actually, yes, not a switch. These are the buttons, the side panel of control, yes. So again, if you're doing some projects, you might use once in a while some of it. Then it's worth to know what you have, and then when you know what you have, you might use it. Okay, that's the power supply, and that's dangerous to touch by hand, because if this hasn't been discharged, then those components like capacitors can hold the energy, especially this one can hold up to 300 volts, so it's no fun. And you shouldn't short it with a finger, with a screwdriver, you know, you shouldn't short it, but I'll do it. Okay, it didn't pop out. No flash, so maybe it's discharged. Like, I got no decent access with this screwdriver, it's slightly too big. So okay, now I'm positive that I've done it. Yeah, I'm positive it's discharged. You shouldn't do it by screwdriver. You should use resistor 3.3K, but I don't have anything in hand like that. So okay, so that's the power supply for this TV, and that's good for a number of reasons. One, you've got an inlet here of the power, so you can learn about the components here and see how it is working. You know why some of the components are here, what will do if one component will, let's say, be hot, yes, for instance, what it will do. Looking into the, you know, primary coils and secondary, yes, windings, looking into the various components, that's a good thing. But it's a 230 volt incoming, so it's a huge risk for you, yes. So power supplies is the last part of what you should learn. First you should focus on learning low voltage electronics, yes. But once you've got the low voltage and you understand how things are working, you can then start to learn about power supplies, and then this power supply can be used for different purposes, yes. So that's a good thing. Or you can just find on eBay how much does it cost. Sometimes you can get for it like 10-20 pounds, yes, and you can sell it. So I will be checking how much this power supply cost on eBay, and then I can, you know, then I can decide if I want to sell it or keep it for spares. Then what you can use the main board for is, to be true, there is a few ways of looking at it, yes? Again, you can try to resell it on eBay, or if you don't want to resell it on eBay and you want to learn micro soldering, and that's a good purpose as well for this mainboard, because here if you will damage anything, that's a bigger tip. Okay, I'll need to wait with this because that one has damaged the screw. Oh, and this one as well. It's a wrong size of the screwdriver, hence why. That's at least what I see. I'll need to pause and get another bit, because this bit is just too small. Like PH1 and I need PH2, or PH2 and I need PZ something. Okay, so I did remove the screw which was stubborn and the second which was stubborn, so all of the screws on the main board are out. We can disconnect the rest of the cables. Yes, put it aside. And now the last screws from the metal bit. Here as well, some aluminium foil. I don't know what it is, but it just so that it connects better. I don't know what was the purpose for this, to be true. Let's see if I can, maybe by lifting, because it was turning but it wasn't going out. Yeah, by lifting it's fine. So you got a screw, good screw, so it can go here. So now we get this whole panel, yes, and we don't need this metal chassis on it, like a side panel or whatever. This can go, and we can remove. There's two good screws again. So that's metal. So now this one you can check on eBay as well. How much does it cost? Yes, because that's the main board for the TV. Yes, and that's the last part which you can check. If you can't find a use for it and you've got a microscope and you're starting to play with it, that's a good system to solder. You know, like removing and trying to put elements back. It doesn't matter if you'll do it perfectly, but if you'll do quite a few of them, you know, even desoldering them first, yes, putting them aside, and then once the board is clear, let's say, like almost completely or completely clear, you can start to try and solder them, yes? So first desoldering and then soldering them, because this way you can learn, yes? And always when you mount components on the surface, you should start from the lowest first, yes? From the lowest. But with one exception. If you've got large component which you need to mount later and it has many legs, many pins, you need to mount it first, because you will be using hot air gun, yes? So you can imagine yourself this really easily, because I can show you here, air gun, yes? And if the air is blowing from it, yes, or you've got smaller adapter which is making half the size, then the stream is twice stronger, yes, then what's happening, it's just going, you know, so quick that the hot air is melting the solder and all the components on the side, okay? So then it's better to mount, let's say, HDMI port first or some other port first, and then, you know, you can easily mount, well, maybe not easy, but you can mount the rest. Okay guys, I'll stop because customer wrote. Okay, so I need to go for one PlayStation. I'm helping one customer for a small fee to get a PlayStation 4. They want PlayStation 4, but they didn't know what to, how to, and so on, so they said if I can help them. So yes, okay. Now what's going on is, you know about this. This can go on the side. Yes. As I said, if you can't resell it, you can learn at least soldering microelectronics with it. Yes. So now we get those speakers we spoken earlier, and some switches. If you do projects, it's worth something to have 1 or 2 of them. Yes, but not having 10 of them, because what you're gonna do? If you've got a kitchen and you've got some, you know, some space where you can mount these speakers, you know, you can then mount them at a certain angle. Have a small amplifier somewhere, you know, just check ohms on the speakers and ohms on the amplifier, because if you won't do with the same ohms, you're gonna burn something, either the amplifier or the speaker. Yeah, and you can make it as an audio system for the kitchen, for instance. Yes, so it's a nice thing. Now, power cable is a power cable. You know, you can never go wrong with the power cable. It's just power cable. So let's go into other cables here. And the cables. Well, the cables, to be true, there are 2 types of cables. Cables with a single core inside, yes, and a cable with a many cores. So with the many cores, you can repurpose them for soldering. Let's say when you're soldering HDMI port, you've got 19 pins in it. Got it here? Yeah, that here. So you can see that it's 19 pins, yes, on the HDMI port at the back of this port, yes, over there. So you can, if you've got a trace damage, you can use then one of those cores, those tiny cores from inside, you can use them to resurface that, you know, that line, yes, with this. And then you need this. That's a thing, like a paste, yes, which you put on the surface after soldering this. You put it on the surface and then use UV light. It's a curing solder mask ink, yes, that's what it's called. And then you just literally use UV light on it, and then it's hardening. And then you can put, you know, like even layer on the layer, and it's fine because you've got it dried. Yes, so that's the thing. So it's very useful. You can even use those cores, many cores, for removing solder from the surface, but you need to use flux as well, so it will keep better. So, you know, it's quite a few things you can do apart from using it as an extension cable to something else, of course. And what else? That's from power cable, so that's not necessary, needed for the moment. And here is another cable. Okay, so quite a few cables as always. And now we got LCD panel. Okay, so what we need from the rest of it actually is not a lot. We need only here backlight. Why you need a backlight? Well, you might not need a backlight, to be true, but if you've got stairs at home, you might say, I want LED strips. So then you can use these strips if you know how. Some of them you can use, some of them it's not worth to use. But that was never open as well, because the sound is like breaking. Additional click when unscrewing, then you know that it's a factory one. yeah, okay, so we got everything what we've seen is here. Can I lift it? Yes, I can lift it. Okay, good. Okay, so we can remove the plastic for now, because that's all one plastic, so that's no metal. You don't have to remove anything from it here. It's fine, just the metal. And then here we got display. So I'll pause because it's quite a few screws on the side, so it's no point to waste your time. Okay, so I've managed to remove all the screws, I think. Yeah, I was right. So that's a metal, yes, that can go to the recycling for the metal, so that's not a problem. Or to the general waste, that's metal and that will rot in a long time, because that's looking like a stainless steel. It's not, doesn't look like a just regular steel or anything. So now we've got a screen, you know, this culprit, whole culprit here. I mean, not a culprit, but it was treated badly, so hence why. Yes, that's the whole thing. And those boards, you know, those boards, to be true, you know, like, you can keep them, you can cut them off, you can keep them, but you can only use it for components here, yes? So then you will have some other TV with faulty component, and you can get this component if you micro solder. If you don't, then you will only waste your time. So then again, either you cut it off, yes, or you throw everything. That hole has to go, because otherwise what you will use it for. Now this IC has clips, so it shouldn't be a problem to unclip it, even with this screwdriver. Yeah, exactly. Skip now video, because you know, it's like not a lot happening. Oh no, okay, so this is not a LED, this is LCD, yes, so this won't be used for anything. This will go to the bin. The only thing which you can use from it, if you need for anything, you know, if you get some product and you want to use, are those sheets, because they make the light blurry, you know, if they are not giving you the vividness. Or this, like a sort of plexiglass or whatever you can call it. I don't know how you can call it, this protection. So this is an older technology. This is not the LED TV, this is LCD. So unfortunately this goes to bin. This goes to bin. I won't be using it. Yes. So plastic will go to plastic, metal will go to metal. Actually, I should know it because it was too thick TV. But if you would have the LED, then this is smaller here. Yes, this is smaller. But plasma and LCD, they were big, so I should really. Oh, that's broken. And here, and remove it. from this. So actually we can finish the video to be true, because that's only taking your time unnecessarily. You can only unscrew it here, guys. So now you see, if you will have a TV, that's what you can do with parts. Now there is a one small board here, is a bigger one, because that's an LCD. So that's this board will be needed to plug in the strip. Now, do I have strips here? I've got a bowl of them. Because I'm collecting them for my stairs. Now you see, this is an LED strip, yes? If you provide a current here, like I've got a power supply, if you provide a current, they should all lit up. If one of them don't, then that means that LED require change. You can buy these LEDs online, on eBay or AliExpress. I've got as well some of the LED at home. So then, you know, then you can swap it, and then you can use the strip on your stairs, yes? And then you can even add some electronics to it, like either a motion sensor, so then when you move it, it will lit up for, let's say, for 30 seconds, yes? Each time you move, somebody will cross certain area, like on the staircase. If you've got here, yes? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, yes? And if somebody will go on the second one, yes? Then automatically the lights will lit up all the way along until we'll be at the top, and that's enough, you know, like 30 seconds, that's enough, and the lights will go off, yes? The LEDs will go off. And normally you would go and you would switch on, let's say, up to even 11 watts, somebody can even have to up to 15 watts, yes, of power. Which, you know, which is much more, yes? If you've got some old solar panel, yes? And some laptop old batteries, you could use that solar panel to charge those laptop batteries, old batteries, and then lit up those LEDs, you know, in the evening, yes? When you need it. And then you wouldn't have to have even the power source. So that's a good thing for the project, yes? But if you, again, if you don't want to play with electronics, you don't want to learn it, then it's worthless, yes? But if you want to play with it, then that's a good stuff to play with. So guys, hopefully you've got some learning from it. And you see, if you've got LCD, it's not worth anything. If you've got LED, then that made a lot of sense, yes? And again, there will be a board. These are, in the big TVs, you've got 2 of them, and they are connected. You know, you got one, and then you got a second, depending on how big the TV is, yes? Because if you get, you know, like a smaller TV, then it will be one strip. But if you've got bigger TV, then you will have strip connected to a strip. You see here, that will be only one strip for the whole TV, yes? But if you've got like a huge TV, then this will be one strip connected to the second one. Then you can easily disconnect it, and no problem. So guys, hopefully you've got some value from this video, and see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.